California keeps throwing billions at its homelessness crisis. How successful is it? Who knows? It doesn't even keep track, much less hold homeless services accountable. Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. Homelessness is plaguing California. Well, 9 state agencies, more than 30 programs, and billions of dollars later, California has taken that problem and somehow made it even worse. In the past 5 years alone, California spent $24 billion on homelessness and housing, only to have its homeless population grow by 53% since 2013. Nice! California now has almost a third of the entire U.S. homeless population. How is it possible that California could spend so much money only to end up with more homeless people? Well, despite a massive wealth redistribution scheme where taxpayer dollars were shuttled to various government programs to help the homeless, they didn't track anything. And we almost didn't know about this. It was only discovered because Democratic California State Senator Dave Cortes requested an audit in November 2022 after touring a homeless encampment in San Jose. The audit was approved in March 2023 and concluded last week. Cortes said the audit revealed a data desert, which I assume means any positives coming out of their efforts were just a mirage. This desert was discovered by California State Auditor Grant Parks. He and his team looked at spending on homelessness in fiscal years 2020 through 2023 across California. And they found that California failed to track its homelessness spending and results. So they got people who were bad with money to help the homeless. It's like getting an alcoholic to lead an intervention. Pretty sure you're not supposed to make toasts at these events. The audit put the spotlight on the California Interagency Council on Homelessness, or CAL-ICH, which is in charge of coordinating California state agencies to combat homelessness. Since its founding in 2017, CAL-ICH has only reported its financial information once, despite being required by law to keep track and report on financial information. That report only covered fiscal years 2018 to 2019 and 2020 to 21, which isn't a big deal. I mean, it's not like there's a federal agency that would come down on anyone else if they fail to correctly report their financial information. Happy tax day, by the way. CAL-ICH hasn't bothered keeping track of their finances, despite the significant amount of additional funding they received in the past 2 years. Why didn't they make the reports? Well, because despite the additional funding, they said they didn't have the funds to continue collecting that data. So with billions of dollars flowing in, CAL-ICH was too poor to do something as basic as keep track of finances and goals on a spreadsheet? Is that free Google account too expensive for them? And the rest of the audit isn't pretty. The state auditor also looked at 5 of over 30 programs aimed at preventing and ending homelessness. Those are collectively worth around $14 billion. Only 2 were considered cost-effective. And when it says cost-effective, it means a whopping $144,000 for each housing unit is a good use of money. Oh, and by the way, this isn't new construction, no. HomeKey converts existing buildings into residential units. Where were they housing them? Instead of Venice, California, did they accidentally send them to Venice, Italy? On a golden gondola? When it comes to the other 3 programs, who knows whether they were cost-effective? The auditor couldn't track them since CAL-ICH didn't consistently gather information on program costs or outcomes. The best it seems CAL-ICH could do was show which identity groups homeless people belong to based on age, race, and ethnicity, gender, and other similar categories. How is this okay? Imagine what would happen to you or me if we're being audited by the IRS and we told them, I can't tell you how much money I have, but I can tell you how many middle-aged transgender Korean cashiers I gave my money to. Taxpayer money was just going into a big black hole. CAL-ICH shot back explaining that they intended to assess the effectiveness of state homelessness programs, but they gave no details of real plans or even evidence of trying to start. I know they probably just need more taxpayer money. It gets stupider. The auditor identified more than 100 enrollment records with client names such as Mickey Mouse, Superwoman, or a name indicating it was a test client such as test participant. Since tracking money and real people is difficult for Cal ICH, it's not surprising to see that bed inventory and enrollment also isn't tracked well. The audit cites one shelter that reported nearly 1,100 people enrolled in fewer than 300 beds. When asked about this, Cal ICH staff explained that enrollment records do not always show when individuals stopped receiving services. Either that or they were all sharing beds to hold battle royale wrestling matches. The saddest thing about all this is that my joke is somehow the less ridiculous explanation. To say there are a lot of holes in California's data on homelessness is a bit of an understatement. It's better to compare it to a net, where the holes are the real main function. The fact the people in Cal ICH have jobs and the homeless don't is a crime. On top of all the other stuff Cal ICH has been doing that's probably a crime. The audit found a revolving door of homelessness, with most people who access services placed in interim housing. Of those, just 13% ended up with a permanent place to live, while 44% returned to homelessness. It's like there's a homelessness industrial complex incentivized to perpetually fix homelessness without accountability or meaningful impact. The solution? Give them more money. President Biden offered $600 million in homelessness grants to California, and California Governor Gavin Newsom wants to borrow $6.4 billion for the homeless crisis. It absolutely dumbfounds me. That's like saying, this gasoline isn't putting out the fire. I know, we're just not dousing it with enough gas. Maybe I'm crazy, but something tells me that all that money isn't really going to do much to tackle California's homelessness crisis. But hey, do you like America Uncovered? Well, I can't afford to keep making the show without your support on the crowdfunding website patreon.com/America Uncovered. All it takes is $1 an episode. I usually make about 12 episodes a month, but if that's too much for you, you can always set a monthly limit. So you can help me continue to uncover America for just $1 a month. Just click on this orange button to support this show. And here's a video I want to show you about what makes America great. Something YouTube considers too controversial these days, which is why I've hidden the topic in gaming content on my new show, Deep Thoughts While Gaming. Click here and let me know what you think. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.